What's going on, Facebook family? This is Billy Miller, the motivational minister, coming to you live on Facebook. And today I want to talk to you real quick about your inability to want to learn is costing you. Your inability to want to learn is costing you. I did a post saying that a while back, maybe a few weeks ago, and I just came back to my remembrance of that post because it was worth repeating. Your inability to want to learn is costing you. What I've learned is the difference between a lot of people is their ability to want to learn. I didn't say their ability to learn, but their ability to want to learn. I met a lot of people who through counsel or wise counsel or advice say, it don't take all of that, or that's too much, you know, or that book costs how much? I can't spend that much, or And a lot of people want to invest in themselves, but a lot of things that you want to do, a lot of things that you want to be, a lot of things that you want to have require you learning. You need to have a hunger for learning. You need to have a hunger for knowledge. A lot of you, show me a person who's struggling, and I'll show you a person who probably hasn't taken the time to learn in that area. Now, listen, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Am I saying that, okay, if you learn something, you won't have no problems or you won't struggle? Of course not. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is it'll make it so much easier. A lot of your struggles are unnecessary. A lot of your struggles are unnecessary. A lot of you are struggling just because you won't pick up a book, because you won't watch a video, because you won't invest in yourself. Anything you want to be, anything you want to do, anything you want to have, you can learn it. At least if you fail, at least let it be something that you've exhausted your efforts in trying to learn. Some things may not be for you. Some things may not be meant for you to have or do. But many people I've noticed aren't even trying. They have an inability to want to learn. And so they look for the fast way. They look for the quick answer. I don't want to hear all that advice. Just give me the money. I'm using that for example. A person wants, they need help in their finances, and you try to give them some kind of guidance, some kind of financial literacy, or some kind of course of action. And look, I ain't got time for this. Just give me the money. Is you gonna help me or not? That is an example of a person who has an inability to want to learn, and it's costing you. It's costing you. You continuously ask to borrow money because you haven't taken the time to learn. You're stuck. You're repeating the same process. Listen, I've been like that in certain areas of my life before. But once I learned that, hey, I got to develop this hunger. Once I learned that the answer is in a clue, the answer is in a recipe, the answer is in a book or a mentor or a class or online. There's so many answers that's just on YouTube. But the problem is not that. We're in the information age. What's up, Trina? We're in the information age, and a lot of the problem is not that the information is not there. A lot of the problem is that you don't want to learn it. You don't want to take the time. You don't want to invest in yourself. And listen, I ain't gonna hold you long. I'm gonna leave you with these two thoughts. Your greatest, and I've said this plenty of times before, your greatest assets is two things. One is your time. Two is your mind. Those are your two greatest assets. So I like to say it like this: use your time to develop your mind. If you don't use your time to develop your mind, you're training yourself to waste time. You're training yourself to lack knowledge. You're training yourself to struggle. So do yourself a favor. Learn. Pray about it. God, put a hunger in my heart to learn. Put a hunger in my heart for knowledge. Put a hunger in my heart for you and your word. Guys, Matthew, I think it's 5:6 says, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled. A lot of you aren't being filled because you haven't had a hunger. You haven't had a thirst. You're going to have a hunger to learn. A lot of you, the reason you haven't gotten a raise from your job is because you haven't spent the time to learn. And a lot of you don't learn because your boss has the information you need, but you can't learn from someone whom you resent. I'm going to say that again. Chew on that for a minute. You can't learn from someone whom you resent. So you don't ask your boss for the information. Your boss has information that you need to get a raise, to get a promotion, to go to the next level, but you can't learn from someone whom you resent. You refuse to learn. So you just buy time just to get through these 8 hours so you can go home. I've been at jobs where I get off of work and reading on books to help me develop myself in that job. Somebody say, oh man, you doing that off work? Yeah, because this is something I'm doing for me. I'm not working off the clock. I'm working on me off the clock. And every job I've had, with the exception of my very first job, because I didn't have this information at the time, besides my very first job and a job where I worked in a furniture store, and a part-time job I had, those are the only jobs I ever had where I wasn't asked to go to the next level. Where I either was promoted or I turned down a promotion. Why? Because I had an ability to want to learn. I'm going to master whatever it is I'm doing. I don't care how low the position is. I don't care if you're a bus person. Guess what? I was a bus person. This is actually true. I was actually a bus person, bus boy, whatever you want to call it, and I was the best at it. Then I moved up to room service. I was the best at it. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm gonna master it. I'm not gonna do half the work because, this is just a low position. No, I master whatever. I'm gonna be the best at whatever I do. I'm gonna be the best one there doing it. Not when I say that, I'm not saying like I'm in competition with somebody. I'm not trying to compete with nobody. I'm just gonna master this craft, no matter what it is. Well, I'm working a register. Well, I'm a bus boy. Well, I got a top-notch career. It doesn't matter. I'm going to master. Why? Because I have a hunger to learn. What's up, Tony? I have a hunger to learn. And that's the difference. And a lot of people are struggling not because of lack of money, but because of lack of knowledge. The scripture says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. We're in the information age. You just won't invest the time to do it. You just want the answer. Just give me the money. Just give me the answer. Just give me the. Look, I ain't got time for all that. Like, look, is you gonna help me? And a lot of you are sponsoring people who don't want to learn. That was for somebody. Hashtag that was for somebody. You're sponsoring somebody who don't want to learn. You're sponsoring someone who don't want to learn. It might be your kids. It might be a relative. It might be a close friend. I'm not sure. And I'm not sure who I'm talking to. But you need to stop sponsoring people who don't want to learn. You're enabling them. You're enabling them. Man, I hope y'all getting this. I hope y'all getting this. Quit sponsoring people who don't want to learn. You're coming out of your pocket paying for something. let me say it this way. And I just said this not long ago, and I've been saying it for a while. It's one thing that irks me. I'm gonna tell you, there's something that just burns me up inside. And I know it's part of life, but I'm telling you, it just burns me up. If you need wisdom, right? You need some form of knowledge, and I give you that knowledge. It's up to you if you want to do it, right? You don't have to take it. But if you refuse that wisdom and it costs me, that's something that just gets up under my skin. That just rubbed me the wrong way. You understand? I got to pay for something that you did because you refused the wisdom I gave you. Hey, like I said, I know some things is part of it. You know, you got a kid or something. I mean, I get it. And that's just how it is. I know I made decisions in my past. I'm pretty sure other people had to, deal with the repercussions because of my decisions. But, it's one thing if I do something or if I ignore wisdom, right? If I ignore wisdom and I go through it, okay, I can deal with that. Hey, I learned my lesson. That was my bad, right? But if I'm telling you, listen, don't do this, and you go do it and it costs me, I got a problem. I'm not about to sponsor you. I'm not about to invest in your inability to want to learn. I don't know why I'm parking. I don't know who I'm talking to. But that's for somebody. That's for somebody. There's somebody you sponsoring that you need to stop sponsoring. Because they need to learn. Hey, experience is not the best teacher. It's a hard teacher. It is a teacher though, but it's a hard teacher. And wisdom, and Tony said cosign or somebody's crazy. What'd you say? Cosign or somebody's crazy. I don't know if you wrote that right, but I get it either way. Listen. Oh man. Okay, cosign on somebody's crazy. Right. You can't do that. They gonna have to learn. They gonna have to learn. But that's what I'm saying. Experience is not the best teacher. It's a hard teacher. But the excellence of wisdom is this. I can go through something because I lack the knowledge, and I know, okay, don't do this because this is what's going to happen. Now you come up, right? That knowledge that I share with you because of my experience is wisdom that you can glean from, and you can escape the troubles and the scrapes and the bruises. Right? That's the best teacher. Wisdom is the best teacher. Now, I went through the same thing. I had to go through an experience, though. I had to get bruises and scrapes and almost didn't make it. But the knowledge that I learned from that, I can share with you and you can escape it. That's the best teacher. And if you refuse the wisdom, you got to go through the same thing I did, and you might not make it. Listen, just because you go through experience, let experience be your teacher, that don't mean you gonna make it. It can kill you. You understand what I'm saying? Your hope is that, hey, in their era, hopefully they'll learn from it and keep going. But you can't be stopped. That's possible. Hey, Bernice. Thanks again for everybody that's coming in. I can't see everybody, but you're going to have to learn, man. And I just noticed that and when you, and just in your own life, if you think about it, if you think about the people that's around you, your friends, your classmates, whoever, family members, who are going through, who struggling a lot, I guarantee you majority of them is struggling because there's an area that they refuse to learn. There's an area that they refuse to learn. If you want to make a difference, if you want to come out of your situation, it begins with learning. All right? So if you're having financial issues, learn how to master money. If you're having health issues, learn how to master health. There's knowledge for everything. My people are destroyed not for lack of money, not for lack of support, not for lack of people helping them, but the scripture says my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. I hope this helps somebody. Listen, share this video, and maybe it'll bless somebody, because I know that was for somebody. And y'all take care. Listen, follow me on Instagram. If you're on Instagram at Billy Miller, the number 7. That's BILLIE, Miller, the number 7. Go to my website, whateverdevil.com. You can connect with me there. Everybody that's watching, please go to whateverdevil.com. I have a newsletter on there that I would love for you to sign up for. It's free. That's how you become my vision partner, and that's a good way for me to pour out knowledge into you. Listen, if you want to learn, man, if you got a hunger for learning, you most definitely need to be part of that Word is Your Life newsletter. So go to whateverdevil.com, look through the menu, find newsletter. I also have merch on there, like clothing, and I also have books on there filled with knowledge. So go to whateverdevil.com. Listen, if you sign up to these notifications to get notified when I do these Facebook Live videos, y'all have any questions or concerns, put it in the comment section. Hit me in my inbox, and I'll hit it later, even if you're watching the replay. So listen, y'all take care. Y'all stay up and stay blessed. And always remember that the Word is your life.